I'm a feminist.
I am a feminist.
I'm a feminist.
I'm a feminist.
I'm a feminist.
I'm a feminist.
All right, we're here. Let's go ahead and bring us in the building. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. This is Sit and Politic here. Big Baby, of course, here. And I'm here with my main girl, Juju. You already know we're going to get into it. Is there anywhere you want them to find you online, by the way? I didn't ask this last.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. You want to keep it anonymous? You want to keep it mysterious?
Yeah.
Go find her. No, I'm kidding. That's why whenever people say that, I tell people that. So do you have a person that you're getting? One of these people is not a feminist, so the rest are. So we have 6 people, 5 are feminists. One is not. They're going to be lying and trying to trick us. Throw us off. So would you have anybody just judging the book by its cover?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, well,
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
All right. Well, I'll judge the book by its cover. I'm going to say pink here in the middle. I think you're trying a little bit hard. You're trying to throw us off the scent. I see right through that. Patriarchy. And let's go.
No. Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to him because it's like,
well,
you kind of want to say it's the woman that's like the anti-feminist. Is that what we're looking? Okay.
Well, yeah. Yep.
I mean, what was the question? One of them is lying.
One of them is lying, and they're going to present as if they are a feminist.
Oh.
And if they get to the end, then they win money.
So my first choice would be the woman in the white, but I'm willing to change my mind. I'm probably wrong with that.
That's almost too obvious, though. She looks like she hates women. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, make sure you subscribe, show some love, and here we are.
How do we feel about women having rights?
Yes.
Really cool thing.
Okay, that's first of all, that's
what would you say?
Okay, yeah, please.
How do we feel about women having rights? I mean, what? Who in this time would say, you know what? I don't think that women should have rights.
Well, and to be clear, it's a very like vapid question because even the anti-feminist may believe that women should have rights. They just may feel like there's not a reason to have like modern day feminism, or maybe that's like harmful in some way. But definitely a stupid question. Right off the bat, hopefully they're not a feminist, or else we see what the problem is. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead. And yes, we need more.
Is the most feminist thing about yourself?
I believe women should be paid the same across the board, not just white women, but women of color. You can't be a person of color and not believe that women should have the same rights as I, as a black person. So that's why I'm a feminist, and I believe that feminism is about women being equal, period.
Yeah. For me, it's just like uplifting women's voices for women's rights. I think like a good thing for us to start, like, how do you guys define feminism?
Like an advocacy for equity in the institutions for women, right? Not just in the economy and society, but also.
I know this is pissing you off right now. I just like this, listen to them talk, I can tell.
I'm listening to them though, but I'm like, what point have they made? I mean, they haven't really talked about anything.
Well, they're not necessarily they're not trying to debate. So this isn't like the other one that we reacted to.
Yeah, because you get the guy here raising the women's voices. I mean, what are you talking about? How?
Yeah, how have you done that? Other than wearing that loud pink shirt, which is distracting from all the women in the room, by the I
love the style. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're on the same page with that, but yeah. I think interesting point. Your pick right here, standing right next to him. So our moles are standing next to each other. We'll see who stands at the end.
No, I mean, the first one that talked here, the blue shirt.
Yeah.
I think everything he said was totally reasonable.
Oh, totally reasonable. This guy at the end.
Anybody can argue against that.
We should all have the same right. Yeah, okay. Well, that's true. You should maybe get deeper into like deeper levels of feminism in order to suss out who really is the liar.
But what he's talking about has value because he talked about women of color and women of, not just white women, women of color. It's because, I do think there's a problem with watering down efforts to be diverse with plugging a white woman into that spot. So like on corporate boards, they promise to diversify their board. And so they're going to have some people of color and they're going to have, female representation, but they will pick like a white woman for the females. It's just, so I get what he's saying. There is still an issue there and it needs to be resolved.
If I'm remembering recalling, I feel like during the beginning of the feminist movement, there was a little bit of like a racial distinction there, and there's a bit of a history.
Mhm.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
know anything about that or whatever. You may not have much to add, but I mean, I do know that there's a little bit of a history there and some discontent with the representation from feminists themselves as a movement and how they represented women of color and so on and so forth. So definitely interesting point. We'll get into it.
I mean, he has a certain, and I agree with him, and that would make him a feminist. That it's an important issue to him.
Sure.
And so, yeah. And so listening to it so far, I'm kind of like, yeah,
they're all feminists.
yeah.
Government and other positions of power.
Like I looked over and I saw, like, not to hate anyone that wears running shoes, but like I saw the running shoes and I just assumed. I think that's just like a trope that like a lot of like anti-feminists, like right-wingers dress more for comfort than style. So it's just a stereotype that I was playing on.
I think supporting women in all areas, so reproductive rights, you know, work pay rights, all that type of stuff. And I think
I'm with you on this. I think she's the mole at this point. She immediately couldn't even think of anything.
You know, what does she think it is, right? Is that what the question is?
Yeah.
I mean, what does it mean to you to be this, whatever?
But also another thing that kind of like makes me look at is that she is like Australian or something. So that immediately makes me think that she might lean more towards like an anti-feminist point of view.
Oh my gosh.
Just keeping it real, Australia. Get it together.
being a voice for the ones that can't speak up, because I find myself getting into arguments with people because I'm like, I will like really like have this conversation with you. So I think just always supporting them no matter what.
My eye immediately went to Emma.
Ooh,
I was like,
have this conversation.
that very much could be a conservative woman in this group, just based on her outfit. It was a great outfit. She looked great. I guess my view on feminism is that it goes
It's the whole
beyond
Fox News
women as
thing, you know
well,
what I
like,
mean?
we
Where
include
it's like,
trans people
gotta
in
wear
there,
short
and like
skirts.
by uplifting women and trans people, you then see a better society and environment for like men and like other people. You said something about agreeing with women no matter what they do. Like I fully disagree. I feel like feminism, you have to hold women accountable. Like there are women like J.K. Rowling who like leading and spearheading a transphobia movement in the UK, and you can't like hide behind feminism when you were literally hurting women.
Oh, totally. I feel like that was just like a broad statement when I say supporting women. I think for me, when I was in a workplace run by men, I feel like I couldn't stand up to like the plate and step up and really like talk about how I'm feeling, because I would just get shut down. So I think like in those situations, I mean, like if there's like no one that can like support someone, like you should support them and educate them in a way.
What do you usually do in instances where you're like shot down by a man in power, you could say?
Well, nowadays it's different.
Okay.
If I was saying a few years ago, I would just kind of like,
Red flag. Red flag. Nowadays, it's different. Sounds like you might feel like we don't need feminism, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, so what's her point now? Is she saying it's better? It's all gone? I don't know what she's saying.
We'll let it go a little bit more.
I understand what she's talking about. I've been in situations like that where you just feel like there's a boys club. You know, I mean, I work in a corporate environment, so I do feel like there's a boys club. I just do. And I think most women have that. It's just kind of what you've lived with, you know, for so long.
Some of that though could be a like perception of people that are like how a man may communicate with another man is in more times than not going to be different than how they communicate with women. So then it could just have really social ramifications and not have these like you know, like not have these implications in the workplace where you end up being kind of like pushed to the side based off that. But it may just be more of like a social,
right?
I don't know, but yeah. So from the outside,
they've been in their social group, and it's kind of they feel comfortable with those people. It does feel uncomfortable to associate with people that you just don't know. I mean, regardless of race or sex, it just or gender, you know, it just kind of I mean, you got to force yourself to get out of the bubble if you want to talk to people. And so, but I don't know what so I get that, but it is a different thing though. I think that women experience it differently because you just feel like you don't fit in that group, and they, you know, don't necessarily make much of an effort to get you in the group either. And that's the problem, you know, there's that. And so what she's talking about is it still exists. I mean, what is she talking about? You know?
Yeah,
So
sure.
rebuttal and just go about and do what they want me to do. But now I have a voice, and I will there's not like something equal. I will just point out the fact that, hey, that's not fair. Like, it's just a thing of being strong and powerful, I think.
And so what do men do in those situations?
Women a lot of the time aren't taken seriously by men in the patriarchy. I think it's really important for us to like let our voices be heard and uplift their voices.
Keep each other in check.
Yeah, allow a platform for women to speak, let their voices be heard, because that's the most effective way to dismantle ignorance.
His speech seemed very practiced or thought out. It didn't seem natural. I think also just putting women in leadership at my work, all of leadership is all women.
Yeah.
And I feel the safest there compared to other workplaces where I've been kind of like duking it out with the boss man kind of thing.
My
Yeah,
bosses
what
are all
she's
women,
saying
too.
doesn't make any sense either in the real world.
How so?
In the real world. I mean, you know, because it's like I've worked at various companies, and yeah, I mean, no, that everything she said, it goes against my experience in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
it's like, what do you mean?
women
Because
and
the
stuff?
whole company, it say that your upper leadership of a corporation is all female. Would that automatically make you feel more safe? No, because some of the worst CEOs in history have been, monsters, absolute monsters.
Well,
you
women,
know,
you're saying.
yes, women. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton, for example. You know, who tried to be. She is a monster. You know, and it's like, so I voted for her, though. You know that, but I'm just saying. But because the other side of the choice, to me, was worse.
Yeah.
You know, but don't tell me she's like a walk in the park. Give me a break. So that whole thing was stupid.
Well,
But it sounds like she heard that from somebody.
I think this is a little bit of
or-
like, this is a little bit of
sounds
like
good.
biases that like people are open to having their own biases kind of confirmed over and over.
Yeah,
ways.
They are.
She has a bias about
Really, did she have that experience? I'd like to know, because I don't think she did. I think it's a lie. So that's just
Or
throwing me
even-
off as far as the mole situation.
or
So
even
what I'm
if
saying is there
yeah.
could be a company like that. I'm not saying there couldn't. There's not. But what I'm saying is, in my experience, that has not happened. And just, you know, like I mentioned Hillary Clinton, but various figures like that, you know, that where you're like, but then there's some really fantastic women leaders. I'm not saying it's 100%, but what I'm saying is
with you.
she's just over the top and coming up with crap.
Well, I mean, I think-
pulling that out of her ass is what
I
it
think-
seems like to me.
Well, I think
mean,
some of it though
you know.
could be like what I was saying, where it's like you're seeing people's like own biases really come to the forefront, especially when you're talking about such a broad kind of like topic where it's like feminism. How do you define that for yourself? Well, it's like people immediately kind of like attach themselves to like the biases they hold. Like, oh, men are like more difficult to deal with there or whatever. So it's like I feel more safe conversing with women. So I don't know. That's not necessarily a red flag to me as much as it may just be like somebody that identifies as a feminist, and it's like just kind of like surface level understanding, which I think a lot of people do get wrapped up in these kind of ideologies without, like what you were talking about earlier. I don't remember what it was, but it was something where we were talking about looking into it further, and the trans thing, the guy that was making that argument. You're like, he named these studies and things like that, and a lot of people will take that information and just save that rather than checking it and taking the extra step of verifying it themselves.
Right. And even understanding what he's talking about. I'm convinced that a lot of people, I mean, they're just too busy. I mean, I have a job, I'm busy, and then you're tired. It's like, I am not going to spend hours of my life. Most people
Sure.
talk about the workers,
Well, it's like, and in general, it's like if you do that with one thing, you can't do that with everything. That's just not practical.
Right.
So
It's not practical.
if you decide you want to spend your free time and become an expert in female
Right.
rights and so on and so forth,
Right.
well, then you may be making a unconscious decision or whatever, indirect decision to not be an expert on something else. So it's
That's
like,
right.
no, it just can't be.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
let's get it back going.
Of course.
I will say that traditionally I have had issues with women being my boss, but as
hate
I've
to see a
There
strong
you
woman.
go.
as
Well,
I've
that's
grown, as I've grown, and educationally,
Yeah.
now that I know women's roles, and so I agree with you with that assessment that women in leadership, it is just something about it. I feel safer too.
And I grew up with a family of brothers, so I was always having to fight to say anything, and also a Hispanic household, so a lot of times it was like the woman's here to serve and all of that, and having grown up with that kind of mindset made me go the complete opposite. You know what I'm saying?
like something like that, once again, could inform your bias, where now you're going through life applying your interaction with like siblings and the father and things like that, and applying that to just people in general, which is just,
Well, my vote's going to be for the white guy in the blue shirt, as of right now.
So hold on, the lady in the white, she threw you off for simp?
Yeah. Yeah, because the white guy in the blue shirt, he did sound rehearsed to me.
That's yeah.
That's
all.
The rest of I don't know.
That's actually an interesting point, because I guess if you were going in there as an imposter, you would have to do more homework and sound prepared. Where the lady in the white that you originally chose, they asked her, and she's like, it seemed like it was the first time she had ever even considered feminism as an idea. Like, what is this? Oh, wow. Let me tell you. All right, let's go ahead. So this right now, they're gonna vote somebody out. One person's going to get voted out, and they'll whittle it down until the people in the box say, like, okay, hey, I feel like everybody's legit now. And and that will be the point where they decide whether, they win or lose. So,
okay.
If you like this episode and you want to see more, make sure to
from the brew. You already know.
I think when people tend to use a lot of dictionary definitions, they were either studying up on it. I mean, you don't have to go Merriam-Webster on us and trying to explain it.
Emma, she's a little too comfortable and uncomfortable at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with them on
Good
that.
luck, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but
I had a weird hunch that
I'm like, oh, great.
I love how he left. He's like, I respect everybody here.
I know. Now I'm like, oh, maybe he's the feminist.
He's definitely a feminist, 100%.
Right.
Yeah,
is coming. I'm very formal. So that can make it seem like I'm kind of more nervous or more studied, rehearsed.
I want to expand on what you said.
Right.
I'm wondering how you guys feel about trans women in women's sports.
I'm down for it.
I'm a trans person myself, and I think the root of that problem tends to stem with we're protecting children, but you can't say you're protecting children if you're kicking out trans children. It is like a non-starter, and it distracts from, I think, more imperative issues with the banning of gender-affirming care and housing. And that's one of my biggest problems with modern day feminism, is that it tends to center rich cis-het white women. And I'm like, that's weird.
No.
Question for you. How do you feel about these kind of issues being conflated in a way? So feminism and trans rights, how much do you think there is a kind of intersection between those two things?
I think I get where you're probably coming from, and I've thought a little bit about that. They
came in hot. Jesus Christ. All right, Wade.
There are
Take the stream take it down, brother. Calm down, but thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, it's funny.
No, I know what you mean, but you know what? There's always been oppressed groups that need to ally together, in my opinion, to make a difference. So yeah, I think there's a cross section of kind of impacts from just issues that women have generally to kind of these sub issues. Yeah. Because I mean, trans women to me are women.
Sure.
Once you've transitioned to a woman, well, it's about how the world views you too, I mean, now I experience my own femininity in a certain way where maybe another woman, I mean, to me, they have a desire to do that. And so to the world, they're going to project that, and therefore they will suffer the same issues that women have generally, so I have no issue with it.
Okay. Well, and some unique challenges there based off, their past. Thank you for tuning in, though, Wade. I appreciate it. There are no trans children. They are children. They can't make this choice. So, shout out to Wade. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
How do you feel?
Well, yeah, I just want to see, because I was wondering, I don't know how the casting works. I don't know if there's any TERFs or SWERFs in the group, because I don't determine that to be feminism.
Okay. TERF, so TERF, trans, exclusionary, radical feminist. SWERF, sex worker, exclusionary, radical feminist. Would you consider yourself any of these things?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Because for me, trans women are women, so we should be protecting all women, not just cis women.
I have no problem about sports and stuff, but I also don't want to silence the J.K. Rowlings of the world. because I believe in
I agree
democracy,
with them.
and I believe to know your enemy, I want them to speak. I don't. That's how they used to do things in the old days. That's what the KKK does. They hide their face.
Sure.
I want to know who they are, and I want them to speak freely, so you know who the enemy is.
Sometimes they get a little violent though, and it turns into
people, I mean, but
other
that's-
things.
I think I understand what you mean. Like you
Well, but to that, it turns into other things. I think you should handle those when they turn into other things. For example, treat things differently. So if it turns into something different, well, then you're through the way that she acknowledged that is acknowledging that they are different things. So treat them as such. Everyone gets a dang letter.
agree with free
birth
speech,
certificate,
but
is
not
that
to the
what it
point where it should.
Huh?
You mean birth certificate?
No, I think maybe they mean like LGBT letters.
Oh.
I'm reading the comment. It says everyone gets a letter.
Yeah, I wonder what is the letter?
I'm assuming that, but let us know. Let us know. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait, I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying.
Like restrict someone else. Like you don't have
No, but
ill
I
will towards
definitely
people.
want the J.K. Rowlings and the Marjorie Taylor Greens to talk. I want them
Yeah.
to talk because I
Because
want to know
they
who they are.
sound so stupid.
Well, stupid, but you also want to know who they are.
Emma, what do you think? You haven't said anything.
I'm kind of
You
like
can subscribe.
I'm not against it. I'm not like so
You
much.
said correct.
I feel like I don't have a clear answer because with kids, like when you talk about kids doing it, I don't think with children, I think everyone should, everyone's the same, they have the same strengths and everything like that. But I think in professional sporting situations, I might need to educate myself more on this. So this might be what I need to come out of today and do. But I think trans women still have more strength than women. But even saying that, they're women, but I feel like it's not even exactly.
Do you think there's a problem when we're having this conversation that just her saying that it causes a little bit of a tension and pregnant pause in the room?
Well, you see it. You
Yeah,
see
they're
it with them,
there's
but
they're just in a way they're kind of, which is fine, I guess, because this is their own way of reacting or whatever. But it discourages this guy because they're just through their body language. They're like, "What the fuck is this lady talking about right now?"
well,
it's just interesting how how we listen. You know what I mean? It seems like almost there's a lack of listening when people are talking.
Well, yeah, I just listened to her, and I think what she said is the problem is that what you got to define what they're thinking is feminist. If they consider me not a feminist, if I believe something she does, it looks like the stream might be unavailable. I don't know.
Oh Jesus!
It may be Jubilee. I don't know.
Maybe, or it could just be honestly. It could be a situation with automatic AI bots that pull down streams.
Yeah.
So they're pulling stuff down automatically. Because like I said, when it went back up, it said there was no issue.
Okay, so we're still on.
No, I'm saying before it did.
Yeah, it says stream unavailable.
Yeah, Wade said cancel culture.
Yeah, what's up with
cancel culture
that?
right here.
Jeez. I mean, yeah.
Well,
So
either
cut
way,
us off.
Yeah, cut us off again. Let's see, what time is it? 8:30. Yeah, I mean, I still have these Palestine videos, but I don't know, because you probably won't be available another day. I could talk about them another day.
Whenever.
But I mean, yeah.
I'll go out right now.
Well, I have to make a new stream and all that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. What I got? So I got all right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want, we could just do that. That'll be probably 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
Or probably 40 minutes with talking, because, like I said, the one.
So who was the anti-feminist?
Oh, I don't know. I just took that down. Let me see. I can pull it back up. We could just skip to the end. I'll just have to put it in there. That's ridiculous, though. Like I said, they're one of the best with that, so I would be really surprised if they changed their policy on it. But maybe they did. Right here.
Now we're back on, it looks like.
Oh, yeah?
When the question of sports came up, Emma immediately kind of withdrew. And also, as a trans person, I'm just immediately that's suspicious.
All right, well, yeah, I guess we're skipping to the end here. Anyways.
Not so much what he was saying or stating, but the fact that he was just giving me information overload. I was
skipped a
kind of
couple rounds
distracting me
here,
from
for sure.
what we were actually discussing.
When the question
Jubilee,
of
get your
sports
stuff
came
together,
up,
babe.
Emma immediately kind of withdrew. And also, as a trans person, I'm just immediately that's suspicious to me.
Good luck.
Mhm.
I could have easily just agreed
like,
and played the game
"Ah."
and got to the end. But I know this is a game, but I think it's also a game of topics and conversation. So I'm not mad about getting voted out and how it went.
If you think the mole could still be in the box and you want to continue playing the game,
Oh, you
please
you
raise your
got
hand.
voted out first round.
I think we're set.
I will still vote to continue, but if you guys want to end it, I'm cool with ending it.
The light turns green. That means you have voted out the mole and you all win. The lights turn
Nobody's
red.
pure enough for
that
that guy.
means the mole is still in the box and you lose. 3,
That's good.
2,
What is wrong with him?
Let's go. Oh my god. My bad. I was scared.
I knew it.
It's okay.
may the mole
That'll show who
step
it was.
forward in 3, 2, 1.
Step right up, whoever it is.
thought, yeah.
There is no
Oh
mole.
my god. Dumb.
My bad.
I'm so sorry.
They've done that now a few times.
First
It's really
impressions,
weird.
right?
Here's the thing. The mole actually never showed up, but we still wanted you all to play the game.
Oh god. Yeah, the mole decided not to even go in there and talk to those women. Oh, all good. That's perfect. That was the end. We got pretty much to the end. We might have even got the end. Let me see.
Good. Good.
Trying to see here.
So you're just gonna have
Maybe
to
not.
figure out what it is.
You know, I mean, it must be that. It must be that it's a. I don't know if it's that their stuff has changed or if just the, like I said, AI thing is picking videos based off something else. I don't know. But the other, I assume it must be a YouTube problem because the video said that it was. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this before.